Hey everybody, it's Marshall Monkey here. It's going to be the Flash Season 3, Episode 4 review, I believe. I don't know. Hopefully it is. Maybe 5. I don't know. But this is going to be my episode review of the latest episode. Killer Frost is back! Almost back. Episode 7. We have like, what, 2 or 3 episodes left until she's full-blown Killer Frost. I have a theory about it. We'll talk about it at the end of the episode, or video. I don't even know. Whatever you want to call it, really. Review. But we'll talk about that. But this episode was so good. I loved this episode. Reason why? Way more fun. This episode was so much fun for everybody. The music, like the soundtrack for this episode was great. It wasn't just the background music. It was a lot of hits, actual music. I like that. HR, I guess that's what we're calling him, right? Or HR, what was his name? Like HR, right? Harrison? I don't know. Love HR. I think he's great. I think he's just awesome. I love this Harrison Wells quite a bit. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the team. I do want Harry back, but we'll get to him later on. But I just love it. I love this episode. So let's talk about it. Barry moving into Cisco's apartment, so funny. I love that so much. The music cues were on point. I think that was a really great moment to have. I like seeing the team out of what they're really doing, because it's so repetitive seeing them in the lab over and over and over again. So seeing Caitlin go back to her mom, seeing Cisco and Barry live together, it's just like really a refreshing type of feel. And I think that's where the episode was way more fun, is because they get to do something different. Kind of like how I felt in Season 1 with the karaoke episode, or Season 2 when they went to Earth 2. You know, things like that that really refresh. Like, you're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're doing something different to make it refreshing. And I think that this episode was like that. So yeah, but let's talk about Caitlin Snow. Oh, I love Danielle Panabaker so much. I love Caitlin Snow. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite characters of the entire series. Like, she probably is my favorite character. Danielle Panabaker, I've been such a huge fan of hers forever, and I think that she's such a great actress. So great as Caitlin. I love Caitlin. I do. So she goes back to see her mother back, like, I don't even know which city it was. I don't even think they told us. But I imagine it's either a comic book city or, like, somewhere like Detroit or, like, Seattle. You know, who knows for sure. But she ends up going to see her mom because of her Killer Frost abilities. And I think that was really cool that they were doing tests, and that the lab assistant ended up trying to kidnap Caitlin, basically, and Caitlin goes, like, full-blown, like, the eyes go crazy, she turns evil, she literally almost kills that guy. Like, she was thinking about it, like, she was thinking about killing him, and I love that. Although I do think that there needs to be more fear between Caitlin, because we've seen her fear, right? But if I was about to kill someone with ice powers and, like, Killer Frost was taking over to my mind, I'd be, like, really afraid right then. So I really want to see more expression from Caitlin. That's one thing that Danielle Panabaker, I think, even though I think she's a great actress, I think she needs to work on really giving it her all. Like, they really, like, and maybe even Carlos Valdez a little bit, too. Although Carlos doesn't have to do as much as Cisco, but Caitlin, I feel like Danielle needs to, let it wild. Like, have her and the writers, like, make something crazy that makes her go off the handle. I feel like they're going to do that in Episode 7 because it's titled Killer Frost, so I am going to be live tweeting for that. I don't know when, but I will. But I really think that she needs to keep going hard at it, like, give more expression in there. Like, I really want to see more of what Caitlin is thinking. At the end of the episode, we see the post-credit scene. Oh, I love the Killer Frost credit scenes, by the way, the end credit scenes. Or I guess post-credit scenes, whatever you want to call them. But I love that she had gotten a message from her mom saying, hey, don't use your powers, you're going to become Killer Frost if you keep using them. The show. And she just uses her power, like, she's like, boom! Like, has the angry face and her, like, the whole thing. I really wish her hair would kept going white, and, like, she had, oh, that's my phone, and that she would basically, like, keep turning into Killer Frost, but that ain't the case, so we'll see what happens down the line. But I just love Caitlin so much in this episode. I think it was great, and I think that her mom and her are gonna maybe have some more scenes together. We'll see, but I think it's really interesting that she's on the road there. She's really, it's great, it's going good, it's really interesting, I want to see more, so hopefully we'll get more of that as well. And I think I think the writers know that Caitlin is, like, one of our favorite characters as, like, a group, because she's like, will she become evil, will she become good, we'll see. I'm so excited. Alright, so let's talk about the monster and Julian real quick, and then I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about, really. And maybe Joe too, and maybe Wally. Well, no, Wally didn't do anything. Yeah, and then we'll talk about H.R. Wells. But anyway, I loved, and then we'll talk about my theory for Caitlin. So much to talk about. I loved the monster around the city. I thought that was really fantastic. I think it was okay by the reveal that they did by the end of the episode, like the kid. I think that was kind of like a throwaway, and I was like, meh, if you wouldn't have spent so... Oh, gosh. Sorry about that. Sorry. But if you wouldn't have spent so much time on that Caitlin, Snow stuff and that H.R. Wells stuff, you might have had some more time with that villain. Although I don't want any time shaved off of Caitlin's storyline at all. Maybe H.R. Wells, but not Caitlin. So I love the fact that we ended up seeing that, but it was kind of like a really big disappointment. It's kind of like a throwaway. I loved seeing it because it was like really cool for a Julian Albert, but I didn't like it because, as much because it was just really a throwaway. But we did get Julian a lot in this episode. I love Tom Felton. I think for sure, I know for sure he is Dr. Alchemy. It's like right in front of us, like really. Like I think he has multiple personality disorders. He talks about his backstory quite a bit. Caitlin's backstory was really great too. Caitlin's, we'll talk about hers real quick though. Her father ends up dying after he was sick for a long time. Her mother threw herself into her work, standard stuff like that. But let's talk about Julian. So Julian was basically really wealthy back in England. He was very different. He was the odd one out from his family. He moves to America, and he becomes a scientist. But all of it changes when the metahumans arrive, and he thinks that the metahumans are wasting their abilities, except for the Flash, of course. But I think that he thinks all the other metahumans are wasting their abilities, and that if he had them, he could help people. But he doesn't know he's Dr. Alchemy, and that he has multiple personality disorder, like he does in the comics, to where he has a multiple personality that is Dr. Alchemy. So I think that we'll see that later on down the line. I hope we do. Julian and Barry are becoming friends, kind of, and we'll see more of that down the line, I hope. And I think that it was really great to include Julian in this episode. And I like how he's kind of like, I almost killed a kid. Really great. So let's talk about Joe. Joe, this episode was pretty on point. I think he will start to go out with the DA. We'll see it. Iris is obviously going to push him towards it, and he'll find some true love. I hope the DA becomes like more of a character, so that way we can get a feel for his relationship with her. And I do like how he talked to the kid and said it was all going to be okay. It does change. It does get better. And I feel like Joe's at this point in the show, not only in the show as a character, but also in, with, oh man, what's his name? Who plays Joe? Man, I always forget his name. But the actor who plays Joe, I feel like it's at this point right now where we need to do something with Joe's character. And I feel like this relationship was a good part of it. I feel like maybe a different arc too, like not only his relationship, but something else maybe. We'll see. I think that they'll throw in something for us, because usually when the characters start to get a little bit too Silent Night, too much like a just there to be there. Like Jesse Quick, there to be there. Boom, she's Jesse Quick now. She's a speedster. Caitlin Snow, there to be there. Boom, she's Killer Frost. Joe, boom, relationship. So they're taking some of these characters, like boom, Wally West is Kid Flash. So they're taking some of these characters and they're going to start doing really cool things with them. So that way they're just not there to be there, right? Iris, relationship with Barry is kind of working, but, we already saw that, so we need something else now. We need something else. Obviously, Iris isn't going to get her speedster abilities anytime soon, but I feel like soon she'll get something else coming her way. That's how I feel anyway. I feel like these characters are going to have some more things jumping at them throughout the season, and I think it's really great. So let's talk about H.R. Wells. I like how he was a novelist, and that he was writing a book the whole time. He was a fake scientist, just the idea man, and he comes to this Earth, and he wants to prove to Barry and the team that he is he's real, and that he can help them instead of being like this boring old novelist. So we'll see. They actually kind of got me going there. Like, are they going to do a third Harrison, like a third, like betrayal thing? Really? They're going to do the third one. Like, first it was Eobard Thawne, then it was Jay Garrick, or I guess Zoom, Hunter Zolomon, and now it's going to be like H.R. Wells, really? And then I was like, oh wait, he's a novelist. So we'll see more of that down the line too. I feel like all these stories are really weaving in together really tightly, and that, and I love that this episode was kind of like trust, and how there's lack of it. Caitlin does not trust the team to know about her abilities yet. H.R. Wells had to earn their trust, but they have to earn his, kind of. Not really as much as he has to earn theirs, though. And then, it's just trust was a big issue. And, how Julian had to trust Barry, and Barry had to trust Julian to settle their differences. So I feel like there's a lot of trust in this episode, and I think that it was a good call to add that as well. So H.R. Wells, really cool, and I can't wait to see how he tries to win over the team. So let's talk about the Caitlin theory. So I definitely think that Caitlin is going to become Killer Frost in Episode 7. It's obviously titled Killer Frost for a reason. I definitely think that they're going to change her a bit. So what I think they're going to do is not going to do the white skin, because that is so much makeup, and it's very expensive. And I think they might keep her suit. I think they will, because the suits are expensive, so don't throw away the suit. You can get rid of the makeup, because that just helps. But the suit, don't make a whole new one. So I think that they'll keep her suit, they'll turn her hair white and make a wig. The wig takes a long time to put on. Stephen Amell, I'm looking at you, with your Arrow wig, your flashback wig. But I think that Caitlin will have a new look as Killer Frost. She might be like the Caitlin from Earth 2, might help. Eventually might go on, kind of the good side, but still be a villain. We'll see. Maybe an anti-hero. Who knows what they'll do with this Killer Frost version, but I think that they will hit hard with Killer Frost by the time episode 7 gets here. So that's my review. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Did you like this episode of The Flash? Did you not like it? Links up there to my other Flash videos. The links to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.